This week on Pivot with Purpose. It's been a crazy 2 weeks, and if you are on social media, you've seen it, you've heard. It's a complete double standard, I will tell you. I'm seeing it. There are people that are so upset at the last episode. I did get a DM. The girls were upset on TikTok too. I get a message and it says, hey, this is so-and-so. I need you to call me. Hey friend, you're listening to Pivot with Purpose. This is my show where I pivoted from shit I'm 30, where I was dreading turning 30. I had a failed marriage, failed engagement after that, and I don't have a relationship with my immediate family. But through it all, I came out the other side with a thriving business, an unexpected radio morning show of my own, and a platform where I can reach millions of people and help them walk in their truth. I am now celebrating every step of my journey into continuously finding my purpose, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Sometimes this journey looks like shit, and it probably sounds even worse, but it's still our journey, and I'm learning right along with you to enjoy it. There's always a rainbow after the rain falls. Now, if you need advice in pivoting in any aspect of your life, relationships, career, spirituality, send your questions or story to askcarlawilmaris@gmail.com or shoot me a DM at Carla Wilmaris. Now, let's start the show. Hey y'all, welcome back to another episode. Oof, it's been a crazy 2 weeks, and if you are on social media, if you are on YouTube, you've seen it. You've heard, but I'm glad that we made the impact that we did last episode. I'll do a little recap about it later on, but something also happened within the past couple of weeks, and that's that I hit my 5-year anniversary as an entrepreneur. It was October 15th, if I'm not mistaken, of 2008 when I quit corporate. So, wow, which means that we're about to hit 6 years of the podcast in March of next year. So I think we want to do something special. I think I do want to do something in person. Y'all know I don't like events. In-person events are not my thing, but I feel like I can do what I did 6 years ago when we did a live show here in Orlando, and I think it might be here, but don't quote me on it. Calm down. I don't know yet. It's a thought. We'll see. Let me iron out the specifics of it all and if I want to do it. But today I wanted to talk about 5 things that I learned in this journey of entrepreneurship, business and personal, like both. Before we do get started, I wanted to read a review, right? So much going on. So my ride or dies, you really need to get on Apple Podcasts. I'm about to start grabbing everybody's phone because there are people that are so upset at the last episode. Now, if you listened to the last episode and it was your first time, if you have any sense, you came back. If you are a deadbeat or a single mom that has a boyfriend that's married with 3 kids, you probably were upset. I get it. It's fine. I would be upset too if I was on that mindset. But there were a lot of things behind the scenes that I think people don't realize. And it's the fact that I came into that episode after 3 hours of being on the radio station with the same guest, and I was already starting to feel some type of way about these conversations. I'm a very passionate person. And at the end of the day, I'm going to be very clear. This is my show, my platform. I do what the fuck I want. So if I wanted to cut them off, I can. If I want to edit it a certain way, I can. That's what you do when you go on somebody's show. You probably have to do your research on them, right? And see what might trigger them, what their beliefs are. That's why you just don't go up on anybody's show. But I'm okay with the way that the episode came out because the people that needed to hear it heard it. And the clips and the episode made one of the baby mamas call me. I'll get more to that later. So we're going to talk about entrepreneurship first and how I got to where I got and what I learned in these past 5 years. So I do want to shout out. She just DM'd me, and it's because I really can't go through all of them, but she just DM'd me, and it is, let's say her name is Jessica Pearl. She said, "You kept it together, girl. I was getting riled up. Also, I love your post, by the way. You're so pretty." I only read it because she said I'm pretty. I'm just kidding. Thanks, girl. She literally just sent it like less than an hour ago and I saw this. And my DMs are insane. I will even read some of the things that happened on Apple Podcast. Just type Pivot with Purpose, find it, and you go to the reviews. If you have not yet and you enjoy the show, or you one of my friends, you know what I mean. We're friends. Please go and leave a review. Let's go down to what we have. Now we're at 4.7. It's fine. So YK, whatever your name is. It was a very, very long review. I won't read the whole thing, but I'll give you the gist of it. So she left this review, she or he, and it says, I think they have some amazing thoughts and ideas and podcast topics, which means that you've listened before, but this is the episode that you chose to leave a review on. That's fine. It invoked something in you and some feeling, and you left, I'm going to go through yours because you left 3 stars, and I feel like you were being objective, and these were your feelings. You felt like this. You said that that is what originally made you follow me, and okay. However, she says, to consider learning to listen to the guests actively, be still, don't rush their thoughts and words. There are certain times that you just can't be still. There's certain times that your spirit is just like, this is not right. And also, let's think about the fact that there's some people that talk in circles. They talk slow. They try to bring you through this like mumbo jumbo of word puzzles. And no, it's another word for it. It's a word. Do you know what I'm talking about? Like no, it's a little ghetto word I'm looking for. Yeah, they just put a bunch of words together, like they're saying something, and they're not saying anything. They're saying the same thing over and over again. And to me, the way that I think, the way that I communicate, get it out. And you're not going to sit here and put me through, can't think of the damn word. Whatever. You're not going to play words with me, right? You're not going to do a game of words and think that that's going to get me like so mesmerized over what you got to say. No, facts are facts. So, but I do understand what you're saying. Let the guest talk. If you had never met this guest before, you don't know anything about them, you want to get that. And that's a valid point when it comes to interviewing. She said, value every voice. I don't even know about value. I can listen, maybe. Respect could be a thing. But value, and you put that on all caps. Let's stick with respect there. And I can say that. Even when you disagree. True. She also says that my behavior was insulting at times. Could have been. On purpose. I was okay with that. And then he says he handled the behavior very well. That's his demeanor. Also, I kept getting this a lot. And this is something you said. It says, the fact of his age. I don't think age necessarily means that someone is so wise and they've been through things, but did they learn from it? Is my biggest thing. Don't just say what you've learned. What are those actions? And we'll get more into detail into that later, why I was so triggered behind it. You also said, I'm going to look back in 5 to 25 years and see in what ways you grew, changed, and improved since this experience. Absolutely. I definitely will. I still don't think that I would have handled that situation any different. So that day, maybe in 20 years from now, I might handle it different. Maybe next year I'll handle it different. I handled it the best way I saw fit. And those were my feelings. That was my passion. And that's why the show has been here for 5 years. I love reading YouTube comments and it's like, this podcast is not going to be around for very long. That's why you only have X amount of subscribers. That's why you don't make no money. First of all, I've never talked about my income publicly, ever. Don't feel the need to do so and never will. With podcasts, I think that you guys need to understand, not maybe them, but you don't know what anyone's making. The people that you think are making a shit ton of money are broke. The ones that you think like aren't doing anything, that's a small pod, a lot of them making a lot of money. You don't even know half of them. There's this white girl that has a marketing podcast that makes over $1 million a year. Just her show alone off of advertisement. You don't even see her out like that. You really don't. I also know another black pod, The Read, you don't even know what they look like if you just listen to them. They don't have any video. They don't have any reels. They don't have any of that. Very successful show. So people might think like, they don't even got video. They don't even got social media. Biggest show. So with podcasting, if you're not part of the business aspect of it, just stay out of it, one, and just enjoy the show. And if you don't enjoy it, the beauty of it, there's like 2 million of them. Go find somewhere to go. Let's just stay right here. Me and you will stay right here with Pivot because you get it. So Jessica gets it. YKey, thank you for that. I will definitely take into consideration a lot of, cutting people off. Not that one. I just need him to shut up. That's it. But I still respect the fact that he goes around and he, promotes his stuff as he should, everybody has their audience. Everybody has their audience. And he has his and I have mine. And no love lost. Ain't that what they say? Okay. Now that we're done with that part of it, let's get into the 5 things that I learned through entrepreneurship. One of them, I'll start straight with business. And this is if you're starting up a business of any type. You might have your 9 to 5 and you're starting a business. Learn how to outsource. Outsourcing has changed the game for me. I think that we get so stuck on the fact that we do it best. And I was the best editor. No one could get my voice to sound the way that I wanted it to or get the story out. And I was doing it all myself. It is trial and error, but you will find someone that does it the same way that you do or better. And that's what you want to strive for. That they do it better or they have a different angle behind it. I outsource now everything. I outsource from things at home to things in the business, like from my video to an assistant, to my admin stuff, to audio, to like everything I need done, I get outsourced. And at this point, I just want to oversee most of the things because I look at my human design and it makes so much sense. I'm a manifester. So I take that with a grain of salt. I don't stars and moons and shit. Not a huge fan of it. But my human design is manifester. So which means that I have all these innovations and ideas. I just can't execute them. So if I already know whether it's my human design or my ADHD or my personality, whatever it may be, I know what my strengths are. Come up with ideas, sell them, have a team that really ride with me and execute. Boom. Outsourcing. That's what that is. So start with little things. So one thing that I can give you, if you need an editor, if you need an assistant, if you need someone to write newsletters for you, whatever it may be, go to onlinejobs.ph. I started with employees from the Philippines. Go to the Philippines, go to India. You get it all the time. You call T-Mobile, be like, I'm not going to do it. Y'all not going to cancel me today for doing an accent. But you might get, Johnny, who do you notice not Johnny. His name is not Johnny by birth. He's answering from some other country and they get paid $3, $4 an hour. It's literally what I was paying, $3 to $5. Sometimes I would get real bougie and splurge and get me somebody that was $7 an hour. And I'm like, ooh, big baller. But they do a really good job. I actually have a 3-step process to hiring and filtering who would be the best for that project through getting someone overseas. But definitely outsourcing first. And when you have enough money, when your business has grown, then bring it back to the US to people that can really execute that voice for you. So onlinejobs.ph, also Upwork is a really good place. So start there if you're starting a business. If you're already here, then really find some people, whether it's on Indeed or networking, that can help you elevate your business. You can't do it alone. There's no way I'd be where I am today if it wasn't for a team of like 13, 14 people that I have right now. It's a huge team and they all have their roles. I play mine, they play theirs. So shout out to Courtney, Kaysen, like the people I talk to Courtney's really like, I just call out of nowhere. FaceTime. Hey, I got an idea. So shout out to just really finding your tribe within work. Number 2, leaving people behind. And things. You're going to have to leave some things and some people behind in order to elevate. And this is probably one of the hardest things with entrepreneurship and your personal life. So this kind of goes hand in hand because you're going to lose family members. You're going to lose friends or shed. Let's say shed. You're going to shed friends. You're going to shed family members. You're going to shed employees. They have to go in order for you to elevate. There's some people that are holding you back. You guys already know I talk all the time about my immediate family, that there's no relationship there. I don't know if there ever will be one. Sometimes I'm hopeful, sometimes I'm not. But I wouldn't be able to elevate because of the way I feel like they did not believe or would be holding me back. A relationship, there's relationships, with my ex and my son's dad that had to go in order for me to elevate. I could not be there in order for that to elevate. And it was very hard, but it was the reason why I had to go through that. Just recently, I think I've only had to let go of 2 people while in this entrepreneurial journey. And the first one was hard, but it's just uncomfortable having to let go of people. But, I had to go, had the conversation. It was cool. The second one was recently, and that one hurt. I haven't really spoken about it. I'm not going to go too much into detail, but just know that sometimes you don't see why something is happening. There could be someone very close to you in your team, and you're like, this person I talked to, this person's been to my house, this person, is seeing every single day what's going on in my life, personal and business. And then one day it's like they cross you. And it's like, why did this happen? What did I do? What could I have done differently? Why? And I kept asking myself, why? because I didn't see any red flags per se. But when you are in business and when you are talented, when you have a gift, sometimes other people look at that and they say, I want that. And they forget that they have a role in all of this. That's why I never say idea to launch is me. Idea to launch can never be me without my team. I've done the episodes with my team and the team continues to grow. But you will encounter people that want to be you and want what you have to get to where you are. And one thing that they forget is that they're not you. They don't have your sauce. They don't have the anointing that you might have. So although you might try it, you could try it, but you might not get there, And if you do, shout out to you. But you didn't do it the right way. If you want to do what someone else is doing, May is an amazing example of this. Y'all know who May is. She's an amazing producer of ours, like literally right hand girl. And there was a point in time when she got some opportunities to do very similar things to what we already do. It would be on her own and she would charge it herself. First thing she did was come to me and said, hey, so I think I want to do this and I have this opportunity. Like, I just don't want to cross you or make it seem like I'm doing X, Y, and Z because I've learned a lot from you. And immediately I said to her, girl, I don't have the bandwidth to go there. Go ahead. Whatever you need help with, let me know. And if you need me and the team over here to do some work, we can partner with you. If you need my help, go. And I gave her my blessing because I can't take on every podcast. But when you do things in a shady way, it's just not worth it. It's not worth it. And it'll catch up to you later on. This business is so small. And I think every industry is really small, honestly. When you think cities are so large, everybody knows each other at some point in time or someone that knows someone. So be very careful in the way that you move. And you're going to shed those people in order for you to elevate. Now, this last letting go of someone hurt. I didn't understand why. I questioned a lot of, the past year and a half. And once that ended, I was blessed with a huge, huge new milestone, contract, client, all of it. I don't even know how to put it together. I will be announcing it in December, the beginning of December. But again, you wouldn't be able to elevate, or I'll see personally myself, I had to get rid of that before we got to signing that new contract. Because if what happened and the mess that happened would have happened during this contract, it could have completely crumbled my entire business. It could have crumbled everything. So we have to shed. So don't question why, honestly. If you know that you had good integrity, if you know that you were a good, honest person, if you know you were a good person to whoever it might be, then again, this could be personal or business. If you knew you did what you had to do and you played your cards right and you were a good person, let them go. Let them go and something will come eventually. So shed those people. Don't hold on to anyone that God's trying to get rid of. Number 3, networking for success. Ooh, baby. Networking is so important. And if you're dating someone that doesn't allow you to network, this happened to me. They have an issue with you networking. It's like, no, just stay home. That's the first red flag. You have to network. Networking does not mean fucking everybody, especially in business. Keep your pants on. Keep your panties on, ladies. For men, it's a complete double standard, I will tell you. I'm seeing it. Men can go out and network and afterwards do the after hours networking. For us ladies, be very careful with your networking and very intentional when you walk into these rooms. When you go to conferences, even if you go to a party, who's going to be that you want to meet? Already know what their background is, what they're working on, so you have conversation with them, and have your phone ready. Have your business card, not the paper. Do you have a paper business card? You do? Okay, maybe you can have a paper business card too for the right people. For me, I'm a digital girl. So I'm ready for like, hey, here you go. You have all of my information, websites, phone number, email, what I do, like social media, all of it in one place. Be ready to meet that person or get whatever you want out of that networking event. Don't just kind of go fly by to have some drinks. I mean, some of them are like, take some food, I'm hungry. But most of the time, be very intentional with that networking, and networking will literally get you there. It might not be that night. It'll be in 2 years when they're like, oh, I met you at this event. I have a client for you. I have business for you. You never know. Just carry yourself well. Be yourself. Don't try to be anybody else. And those opportunities will come to you. So you have to network. Network digitally, but you have to network in person. I don't like going out much, but networking in person is where it's at. Now, financial literacy. For us, that's a big one. I don't think most of us have backgrounds or were raised with tons of financial literacy. And for me in business, you have to get an accountant at a certain point in time. it's actually not even that expensive. It depends on your income, honestly, but get an accountant, get someone who really knows, get a business coach or, a business planner of some sort, someone that has been where you are already and you can learn from their mistakes. You need to have financial literacy. You need to make sure you file your taxes the right way. When I tell you I had a mess, I'm an accountant by trade, by degree, by the student loans that I have. Accountant. A mess. You know how you see the mechanics and they're working on everyone's car and their hands are all dirty, but their cars usually be real raggedy? Raggedy. Or like nail girls. Nail girls be doing your nails and they look so good. Actually, shout out to mine. Her name is Belinda, here in Orlando. It's like natural. I'm gonna look up her Instagram. She did a really good job on my nails. But this is not her. Her nails look great. But most of the time you go to like the Asian spots. Fuck, that sounds really bad too. Anywho, pay attention sometimes to the nail people and the nails be fucked up. Or you'll see a doctor that's like this health doctor and is telling you what to do and they are just looking crazy. And it's like, sir, do you take your own advice? And they might be really good at what they do, but at the same time, you're not the worst. That's what happened with me. I'm an accountant. Money was fucked up. Taxes weren't filed. My account, I was dealing with everything out of one account. All I know what to do is how to make money. And I had to then go ahead and outsource someone to fix my paperwork. And thank God that I did it when I did. When my ex-husband decided to take me to court, I had to get my shit together. And that then helped me elevate where I am today. So from getting grants to getting loans to just making sure everything is on point. I was in the process of recently wanting to buy a property. I found this property, fell in love with it. And they were like, we need all this information for a mortgage. And I'm like, I actually have it because my accountant put everything together and I had to get all my ducks in order. So make sure your money, even if you're only making a couple $1,000 a month or a couple $100 a month, keep your money very organized because however you take care of $100 is how you can take care of 100,000. So do that. Take my advice. Been there, done that. I fucked it up. Got it a little bit better now. 5 is, to me, one of the most important, even though I made it 5, but that's leadership and team building. Just recently we did, I brought my team to Florida to kind of hang out and bond and be together. And it's really important to be a great leader. I feel like as a leader, it changes the game on how your business will move and how people work with you and how they support you and how they really vouch for you. So for me, the second I answer that phone to any of my team, how are you? How are you doing? How was your day? Like, it doesn't have to be a long conversation, but I really want to ask you, like, are you okay before I sit here and dump a million things in business with you? Because, everybody's human. We all have our shit going on. There's times that I'm not okay, right? So I always want to make sure, hey, is my team okay? I do keep a clear boundary between my team and myself, and I just feel like I have to love them all to death. I feel like we all hang out and have a great time. There's still that respect and those boundaries, but I always make sure that they're doing it right. And if they need something, they can come to me. So open communication and then lead them. Really lead your team somewhere and have them trust you. You have to trust them and they have to trust you. Without trust, there's nothing there. And then make sure that all your team, they know each other, they communicate, and they have respect for each other as well. You have one bad apple in your team, you're fucked. And you could be a 2-person team. It might be you and somebody else. This person right here start messing up, that's a Cancer. He got to go. She got to go. You got to cut them out because they really messes up the dynamic of everybody else. So as you're growing in your business and entrepreneurship, again, I'm 5 years in and really everything took off in the last 1.5 2 years. So be patient with it. Actually, no, 6 years of starting, almost 6 years. So definitely keep going. Just keep going, keep building. Everything will be fine. Just manage them. You have to manage everyone and be accountable. Anytime that something messes up for idea to launch, I can just be like, well, this guy that I hired fucked up. So go in and tell them, no, the check is written out to me. So I'm accountable for any mistakes that we make. So make sure that you hold them accountable, but also just be nice to them. Be nice to people. And then when they got to go, you just fire them. But good thing I haven't had to do much of that. So to recap them, we have number 1, the significance of outsourcing. You must outsource. You're not going to grow without outsourcing. But at first, learn how to do everything yourself. 2, leaving behind people or things. You have to shed people. You have to shed things. It's imperative and you can't get around it. You can't. When you try to hold on to people, by your side that you're not supposed to, that's when you can't grow. 3 is networking for success. You have to network in person. It's a must. You have to do it. If you listen to the episode, I don't know, Courtney, maybe you can tag it at the bottom with when I said I flew to Atlanta that morning right back to meet Charlamagne. I've done that a few times with other people. I know where they're going to be at. I buy a ticket, I get a flight, and I'm very intentional about where I'm going, and I'll get there. Even for certain productions, there's certain productions that I don't have to be there in person, and I'll show up because I know X, Y, and Z are going to be there. I need to meet them and make my presence known. So networking is definitely one. Financial literacy, get an accountant, get QuickBooks, get HoneyBooks. QuickBooks is great, super easy to use, and you can do it online. HoneyBooks, another one that's great to use, or get an accountant. That'll help you. But definitely have something that's managing your money and organizing it. And then leadership and team building. You have to lead. You have to lead yourself too. It's exhausting. But be a good leader and be a good team player. And those are the 5 things that I think I've learned so far in the past 5 years that have really helped me get to where I am today. And Lord knows where I'll be next, because I didn't expect to even be here myself at all. Now that we're done with the 5 things I learned, let's get messy. Just kidding. It's not messy. I did want to point out, going back to the last episode, I did get a DM on TikTok. I don't even use TikTok like that, but the girls were upset on TikTok too. And I get a message and it says, hey, this is so-and-so. I need you to call me. And I called. Why wouldn't I? Call me. So I called. I had a conversation, and it just really validated what I already felt in my spirit, right? Recently, I let go, or I didn't take on a client, and I was telling Carlos, I don't think I told you about it, Carlos. I was telling Carolina, which they're own here, Hi Hello Labs, where I record, because I was partnering up with them, and it was a big client. It was a large amount of money, and something happened that my spirit didn't feel right. And I trust my gut. I trust energy. I really do. I've started trusting it more lately. I feel like I've been more intuitive with how I feel and going off of my energy. And I have this client, everything is signed, contract is signed, invoice is sent. We started working. We're going into the 5 figures for a one-time payment. Like it's big. And something happened that told me, I don't know. I don't know if this is the right thing to go. We're about to start. We need to produce. We need to get this out. And I couldn't do it. I ended up having to send an email 2 days later. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't eat. I'm like, there's something off about this. And I let it go. I didn't take them on. I didn't know why. It's like, I talked to one friend that's pretty much money driven. She's okay with like just doing, especially for that much money. And she's like, just do it. You're not the one listening, to who cares? Like, just take the money. I can't. So I didn't. And about a month later, which is recently, I see online that this person said some really vile things, and it kind of showed me their personality. I didn't know who this celebrity was essentially beforehand. And I will just say it doesn't align. They might be a great person, honestly, but it didn't align with me, and I didn't realize why, but it was revealed to me later. So don't be money driven when it comes to certain things. Now, I say all that to say my energy, the way that it was during this interview, was for a reason. I felt it. I felt like there was something there. So when I asked that question, do you pay for the school? And I get yes. And then I find out this child, so basically the children were in public school. There was no private school to pay for, which then leads me to believe it was right. Every energy that I felt was right. Now, everybody has their own experience. What I don't like is, I just don't like liars, right? Own up to what you've done, what you've said. Like, all these things are factual. They are factual. Let's learn a lesson from what we've been through. I am going to continue to learn lessons. I really am. So that was basically the only tea I was going to tell you. But if you really fuck with me, you would have waited this long. So I wasn't going to say it in the beginning of the episode. But that's really all the tea I'm going to spill. It was an hour-long conversation. There was so much going on. I feel validated in the fact that I know why I felt the way that I did, why my energy was the way that it was, and why I was triggered the way that I was, because essentially, been there, done that, and I left it. So That's that. Now you know a little bit more. My subscribers and my close friends on social media know more too, because I be telling all my business on there. But if you're not on there, you won't know, because I do that daily. You got to go. I think you just signed for the subscribers tab and it's there. We are going to do a letter. Oh, wait, Miami, really quick. I went to Miami this weekend. It's actually part of the networking aspect of it. I've known DJ Nasty and Ricky Padilla for years. Ricky Padilla is actually who got me the job in radio here. He had been trying for years, like helping me out for me to get into radio because I wanted to. Then finally I come back from Jersey. He's the one that put my name in the hat and really advocated for me. So shout out to him. So I was with him and DJ Nasty. That means being with Nasty and working with him means I'm like 1 degree from Beyonce. Right? So that means one day I'll meet Beyonce because of him. Fine. But those are my coworkers. We go to Miami. We're hanging out. Big shot. Dex goes with me. We went to Live, and it was a Khaled party. And then we went to 11, and it was a Fat Joe party. I've never been to 11 in my life. Live, I had never done it like that. I think I went maybe 13 years ago. Let's just say I was outside. I got dressed. I put heels on. I put a dress on the first. Then I wore these actually cargo pants the next night. I was like, a dress and heels is for the birds. I put on a t-shirt and my cargo pants. That's how I went to the strip club. Like, I looked like a dyke, but I was fine with it. Had a great time. The first night, drank too much, had my head in the toilet that night. Second night, I asked for Perrier water because that's fancy, and Fiji. And I drank my water, had a couple shots, spit them back out. No worries, had a great time. And I also went to Booby Trap, so I got to feel 2 different strip clubs. 11, fancy, bunch of white girls with like really small, little petite bodies. There's little acrobats going, very posh. Then I went to Booby Trap on the river. Big old booties, just girls everywhere, liquor everywhere. Kodak Black was there. He's about this big. He looks wild. He had boxers that were like scrunched. I was like, who wears boxers? I thought guys wear briefs now. Do men wear boxers still? Yeah, it's boxer briefs. No, we're talking about the big ones that the pants come up and it was like bulging out. I said, sir, you're like 5'2", 100 pounds. Why are you wearing the big old boxers? Those were your dad's. But Kodak Black was there, and that was it was a very different vibe, let's just say. But I got all the Miami vibes. I did a lot of shopping. Had a great time doing so with Dex. Love shopping with her because we wear like the same clothes, but our bodies are so different. She's like thin, boom, booty. I'm just like SpongeBob SquarePants in the same clothes. But hey, gotta own it because I'm scared to go under the knife. Did y'all see what I did to my lips on social media? Insert on the YouTube here a picture of my lips. I looked stupid. I looked so silly. My lips hit my nose. I was swollen because I tried to get some lip injections, but they weren't injections. They were something else. It works great on everybody else. My body had a reaction to it. Thank God I'm back to normal. But it was interesting. So if that happened to my lips, can you imagine me getting my ass done? I wouldn't be able to sit here. I would have to ask for a donut to do the rest of my episode. So definitely Miami was a great time. Hit up every mall, every shopping center, and really found every Zara from Aventura down to Miami Beach and shopped at every single one of them. So I think y'all gonna see me if you follow me on social media, and I'm gonna give more updates. I'm gonna be outside more often, because I enjoyed it. I didn't feel anxious at all the entire time. It probably could have a lot to do with the fact that I was with, Nasty and Ricky and Dex, all people that I feel very comfortable with. So that was a great time. So I'm gonna be outside some more. All right, so we're gonna get into our advice segment. This is where you send me a letter. You can email it to askcarlawilmaris@gmail.com, or you can DM Pivot with Purpose Pod. Don't DM me personally because I won't see it. But the first question I have, it says, what the fuck should I do? Literally. Because I've been with my boyfriend for the past 7 to 8 years, and he told me during an argument that we've been in an open relationship. I don't know what to think or do. Honestly, I feel broken. Wait, hold on. He told you that you've been in an open relationship. So he's been cheating. I don't know. Okay, let me answer. What your question is, I don't know what to think or do. I feel broken. I think you feel, heartbroken, betrayed. I think you're being gaslit. And I know gaslighting is definitely like one of those buzzwords at the moment. But to make you feel like, hey, we've been in this. Like, you should have known. That's not how things work. If there was never a communication that you were in an open relationship, and I have a friend who's in an open relationship, and it works for her. She doesn't feel any type of jealous. They have the communication. They talk about it. They have their thing. I don't know the ins and outs of it, but they're in an open relationship. I couldn't do it, but at least she knows it. You should have known this too. So you should feel broken. You should feel sad. What to think? You should think that you need to get out of there. Honestly, 7 to 8 years is a very long time. 7 to 8 years, you should know when this person wakes up and takes a shit. You should know when they are, you know so much about them. And people like change, of course, and evolve, but you know that person. And if you didn't know you were in an open relationship, he knows how to keep secrets. And I don't like that. I don't like somebody who can keep secrets like that. So I think you just got to let him go. Let him go, let her go. I don't know. I don't have a name, but they got to go. I actually don't have the second question, which is fine, but we'll answer it there. I just got back last night from Miami and I am as tired as can be. So we're going to pull up our verse for today. I just really want to thank you again for being here on this episode. It's not long. It's me. It's raw. It's my first time doing a solo by myself in studio. I usually just do them at home, audio only. This is different. It's actually kind of weird. And the fact that I have Ariel do this on a regular basis, now I'm like, oh, I don't mind doing it at home when I'm, sitting at my desk and I'm by myself just with a mic. I'm not looking at anything, but I'm like, all these cameras. Well, who am I entertaining? Nobody. Just me by myself. What am I doing? But hey, it is what it is. You show up. It's still a business for me. Podcasting changed my life. It can change yours too. There were some new students that entered the course this weekend and they asked me a question about solo. And I'm like, yeah, it's great. And I'm like, look, this is why I'm back doing solo so I can feel as comfortable and get more comfortable with it. Because I know that a lot of us just have things to say and podcasting is a business. This is a lead generator. You don't have to be talking about relationships and things like that. It could be about your business. And it's different doing it just right here. But it's dope. And Hi Hello Labs can do it for you if you're in Orlando. If you need to do it on your own or at home, I can help you with that setup. Just let me know. You can go to ideatolaunchpodcast.com and I have more information on there. Today's verse, it's Galatians 6:9. It was funny because today I decided to just pull the verse of the day. And I believe we've done this one before. It's Galatians 6:9 from the NIV version. It says, let us not become weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up. And we just talked about 5 years of entrepreneurship. So this is kind of perfect. It's today is the 6th, November 6th. So Galatians 6:9. And this makes sense for what I actually talked about today and let you know the hard decisions that I had to make. And it says, don't become weary in doing good. It's so hard to do good and still get done dirty. It's so hard to do really good work and not be recognized for it or not get the deals that people that are lying about get. But in proper time, the song that we heard in Dallas for Women Evolve, they had a song of their own. It's called On Time God. And it's with Chandler Moore. And just look it up. It's Women Evolve, On Time God. That song is so good. And to hear this say, for at the proper time, we will reap the harvest if we do not give up. He's on time. So we sometimes are on our own time. We have to be on his time, on the proper time, and you will reap the benefits of everything you did. So don't stop being good. Don't stop because it'll catch up to you. Like I said, people have recently, because they were moving in a shady way, they were doing things wrong, they wanted to move forward, and eventually that'll catch up to you. You're trying to get somewhere, and now people will ask, well, what do you think about this person? Well, what do you think about that person? And people will tell the truth, right? And if you were okay with the way you were moving, cool. If you know that you weren't being a good person, you're not going to reap any benefits at the proper time. It might take you longer because you moved that way. It'll always haunt you. So continue to be a good person, and you will reap your benefits again at the proper time. Don't give up. Don't give up. Don't give up. I'm actually doing a little spinning the block. You know, Ashanti and Nelly have spun the block. They look very happy. Now, I have a friend that has some things to say about that because of the things that Nelly got going on, but Ashanti looks happy. And I will say I am spinning the block to 5 years ago, and it's been good. I think I want to keep it very slow, Most of y'all, if you've been here before or since the beginning, know who I'm talking about. If you weren't here from the beginning, maybe one day you'll find out. But right now, I'm moving as slow as can be. I am really, really happy. And I don't know, maybe dating might stop just like that, or it might not. I'm being intentional. And I had sex. I'll talk about it when Paola shows up because things did happen. And I talked to my therapist about it and she said, it's fine. And I said, well, okay. I found out that I'm not completely broken. My body works. I can still have feelings. So I'm good. I'm happy. Things are moving forward. And I probably shouldn't have said that after reading a Bible verse because it is a sin. I'm going to talk about this with God. I'm going to have to get married. Not anytime soon. Well, that is your episode. If you're trying to launch a podcast, get out of here before I tell too much. If you're trying to start a podcast, you know I have a self-paced course. Go to ideatolaunchpodcast.com. If you need help with launching it or coming on as a client for the full service production, we're not taking clients until March of 2024. That is amazing. I can't believe I'm even saying that. But we are available. And a lot of times people aren't ready until then, right? So you can maybe schedule a consultation. They're $20. Literally, I only do it to separate folks from clogging up my schedule unless you're really serious. And $20 is like nothing if you're planning to be a client or if you really want to know more about this and the investment you're going to make. I just want you to value my time the same way I value your time. So again, ideatolaunchpodcast.com, schedule that consultation, or carlawamaris.com. And I will see you again next week. Goodbye.